Hello, hello, hello. Here I am. It's time for the etiquette pop up. We're going to pop up some etiquette tips today. I know that you guys have been enjoying the etiquette tips, and I hope that you are passing them on. And so I just want to get into it just so we can chat a little bit about the etiquette tips and etiquette because manners do matter. They do matter. They matter. They matter. And so before we do that, just let's get into an intro real quick. All right, all right, all right, all right. Are you excited? I'm excited. How are you doing? It's a wonderful day here at the Bravo Network. I'm so excited to be here to chat a little bit. I got my etiquette notes so we can get into it. I promise you, the next one that we do, the next pop up, I will have some incredible slides for you. But in the meantime, let's set it up with the information, and the slides will follow. How about that? Sounds like a plan? I hope that you are well. Listen, what's going on out there? What's happening with you? Is everything good? Are you fighting the good fight of faith? All right, so listen, let's jump into etiquette matters, right? The Etiquette Hour. My name is Sheila Ingram, and I am your etiquette consultant. And I'm qualified to talk about etiquette because I have a big certification that I received from the Etiquette School of Protocol in Atlanta, Georgia, under Peggy Newfield. And so I just love talking about these things. I love giving the information and the nuggets, helping to understand. I know days of new try to throw away all the days of old traditions, but some things we don't need to throw away. And it's good to know these things because, especially for our youth and our young girls, our young men, we need to position them and give them the tools that they need. Let me turn this music down just a little bit. We need to give them a little tools and things to give them to advance in the world, in the corporate world, in the White House, wherever they might be wanting to tread to, right? And it's our job to pass on nuggets. It's our job to pass on some things. And this broadcast today is going to be talking about the dining skills. And it's not just for youth, it's for all of us. It's for all of us. Say that, all of us. I heard you. Wait a minute. My glasses are a bit dirty. So let me clean them. I just grabbed whatever pair that was close to me. I rarely put these on, but listen, I need them to see what I want to read. And so let's get into it. Let's talk about the dining skills. First, let's talk about seating ladies. Let's talk about that, okay? So when you seat a lady, this is what you do first. She steps aside to the open space, and then you pull out the chair for her. She steps in front of the chair, and you begin to slide her in. You begin to slide the chair in behind her. Now, what happens is a lady, we normally naturally will grab and trying to scoot ourselves in, which is perfectly okay. Because when she feels the chair is on the back of her leg, she will begin to what? Sit down. And when she is all the way down, she will help as she gives her chair one final push into place. This is something, I know it sounds simple, but sometimes people don't even know what side to seat, what side to stand on. And so again, she steps aside. When a gentleman is with you, you step aside, let him do the work. Let him do the work. Preparing, listen, let's prepare for success. As you know, we talk about the fancy places and places that people have never dined in. How do you know it was a fancy restaurant, you may ask? What did the waiters wear? Have you ever traveled anywhere outside of the United States? When were you there and how long? Did the people eat differently than you did? These are things we take note of. I know from me traveling around the world and eating with different cultures and different people, I realized they hold their knife and fork different. I've kind of really adapted to their habit because I was, traveling so much that I tend to eat that way. Let me get ahead of myself. Okay, so you wonder what it has to do with table etiquette. Chances are you're going to be exposed to a wide world of experiences in the near future. Yes, you're going to travel, you're going to meet different people, different cultures. You even young people will go to places with their classmates and college, and you won't be around, and these things need to be offered to them so that they don't feel intimidated, and that they have a little familiar, that they're a little familiar with it. So fancy table settings, sometimes it kind of throws people off if they've never been into five-star restaurant, five-star hotel, five-star dining, five-course meal, those things that we need to really know, because we don't know where God is heading us and taking us. So understanding the place setting, let's go. Look down at your place and tell me what you think your first course is going to be. When you look down at a place setting, and I'll tell you next week, we're going to have some photos. You look down at the place setting and you look at your silverware, and it is speaking to you. The silverware will always speak to you. All right. Point out that the coffee spoon is never put on the table. The coffee spoon is never, ever put on the table. So we know when we're looking at the silverware that the coffee spoon is not there, right? But it's brought in with the coffee. Notice, think about it. Now that I'm saying it, you see the coffee is brought in, the tea is brought in, the spoon is brought in. If there is a similar spoon on the table, it is for the sorbet, right? It's not for the coffee or the tea, and that it signifies a fish course. It signifies a fish course. Sorbet follows fish, so the dinner may clear his palate. The diner, I should say. Sorbet follows fish, so the diner, the one who's eating, may clear his palate. That is why the sorbet spoon is there and the sorbet glass is there. The object is to make the silverware go away. Like one, you finish with that, silverware moves. You finish using this, it moves, right? This is simple. It is set up for the third and fourth, people who are in third grade, fourth grade can even adapt to this, right? Adults can adapt to this. When you go to a restaurant, you will have 3 forks and 3 knives. So we've barely scratched the surface, right? So let's stay with me. Stay with me. By the time we finish, you will be in control of the space in front of you. By the time you finish, things will have been moved out because you've used it. And now it moves on to the next course of what's happening in front of you. We only have 2 glasses, but we could have as many as 5, right? It could be 2 glasses on the table or 5. The water glass is always on the inside, followed by the red wine in a larger glass. That's how you can differentiate them, right? The larger glass, and the white wine is a smaller glass. Oh yeah, all of these glasses have a meaning and a position. If we had 4, the one nearest you would be for the sherry that accompanies. Sometimes there's a glass for sherry. I'm talking about knowing and understanding all of these players on the table so you're not intimidated, and so that you get familiar in case you're ever in this position. You won't need to get panicked with it. All right. All right. So just think about it this way. Here's a clue. Just think about the courses: sherry with soup, white wine with fish, red wine with the main course, dessert, wine or champagne and water. Only wine and water are served at a formal meal. You got that? Okay, let's go. You will understand the dishes when you see them, and you will not be unnerved by it, right? You won't. Your ship may sail in sooner than you think, and you want to be ready for it. You want to be ready when your ship comes in and you're on it. You want to be ready with what to do, how to handle all of these utensils and stemware and everything, right? Let me keep it moving because this is a quick pop-up. A dinner-sized napkin measures between 18 and 24 inches. Add that to the formal tablecloth that drops over the edge 18 inches. Stay with me. Get this. Let me say it again. A dinner-sized napkin measures between 18 and 24 inches. Add that to the formal tablecloth that's already on your table, that beautiful, beautiful white tablecloth, right? That drops over the edge 18 inches. Listen to this. Stop, pause, and listen. Unless you have folded your napkin in half, you have a lot of cloth in your lap. A lot of cloth. I'm going to demonstrate all of these things soon. You have a lot of cloth in your lap, and you might just listen, pick up the tablecloth instead of the napkin when you want to wipe your mouth. And guess what happens? A big whoops, oops. Oh my God, that's what happens. There goes the water for it. There goes you knocking over a glass. There goes the red wine on the lap of someone or the table. So it's very important to understand about the napkin, especially in a formal situation. Well, always, but we're talking about the dining in the formal situation where you must fold your napkin. And I don't have one in front of me. I should have. I always say that, I know. But let's just take my little hanky, for instance. Here we go, the hanky. And I'm not going to do this. I might see some lipstick on here. I'm not going to just put it on my lap. No, I'm going to fold it corner to corner so that as it's laying on my lap, I can now reach down on my lap, lift a corner and dab. Lift a corner and dab. I won't lift the whole thing up because I might grab what? The tablecloth. So it's important to fold that napkin. The soup course. Demonstrate the difference between the lug and the cream soup bowls. We'll do that soon. How to eat soup and the resting and closed position for the spoon. There's a resting and a closing position for your utensils and what you're using to dine with. There's always a resting position, and we'll get to those situations and show you what that is, how you rest a knife and a fork, which signals to the waiter or waitress that I am done eating. But we're not there yet. All right. French onion soup is the only soup you do not spoon away from you. Remember last video I showed you how you take a spoon and you go away in the bowl. You take the spoon, and because sometimes people just, and then everything gets all over them. You take the spoon and you move away and you eat it. But check this. French onion soup is the only soup you do not spoon away from you. If you tried, you would have all that melted cheese in your spoon, and the stem would come up and burn your nose. French onion soup is eaten towards you. French onion soup is eaten towards you. You come forward. Any other soup, you go outward and get the brim of the soup off of the spoon so that you may eat it and nothing drops on you. The cutting positions. Critique this. When I show this to you, I want you to understand this. And I'm going to show this to you, and I want to get these pictures up for you so that you'll be able to see what I'm explaining to you. Watch what happens when you are not holding your knife and fork correctly. You are going to flap your arms. It's going to just be awkward. The other alternative is you are still flapping, right? Because it's not working. You're not holding it right. You have to change to correct positions. You are in full control. You have to be in full control of your food, full in control of that steak you're trying to cut, and you're not stabbing it and holding the knife. And no. We're going to get to that. All right. This is etiquette, the etiquette hour that you're listening and looking at, and manners do matter. They sure do. Let's talk about the department and grooming at the table. Have you ever been embarrassed at a table? Have you ever turned over a glass? That is why you put your hands in your lap, my sister and my brother. You keep your hands in your lap. There's a reason for everything. Keep your hands in your lap. It prevents accidents. All right. There goes the glass. If you don't listen, your hands are on the table. You're talking with your hands. I tend to talk a lot with my hands, and I'm sharing, and I'm very passionate when I speak and I'm talking. And guess what happens? Because my hands are not in my lap and they're on the table, There goes the glass. A mess. And you're embarrassed. It's a mess. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. God forbid if it drops on someone's $2,000 dress or $5 dress. A dress is a dress, right? And you're so embarrassed and so upset with yourself. So keep your hands in your lap. Anytime you have your hands on the table, you are asking for trouble. Let's keep it moving. You may, and I said this in my last video, people think this is not true, but you may put your elbow on the table as long as there's no food in front of you. You can do it in between courses. When there is no food in front of you, it is permitted. If you get food in your braces, do not pick your teeth. Don't do that. This is a job done in the restroom, right? Or with dental floss. Get up, do what you have to do because stuff is uncomfortable in your braces, right? Try to stay at the table for the whole meal, but if you are suffering, just choose an appropriate time to excuse yourself. Never, ever, ever comb your hair at the table. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Listen, this was a pop-up for you. I'll be back next week. And I'm going to have some slides for you to show you about the zigzag eating and the continental eating and the resting of your utensils. What does rest mean? When it's open, how do you put your knife down? Listen, we're going to have a good time. I'm going to show you some slides, but this is not intended to be a long, long thing. This was intended to just be what? A pop-up. It's a pop-up. So I hope you got a few tips from this, and we're going to keep it moving. And I'll be back with more for and from the Etiquette Hour. And remember always that manners do matter. And remember, when nothing changes, nothing changes. All right? I'll see you soon. Take care. I love you guys. Remember, stay well.